There's a device that I've been using called a Whoop.
Hello, and welcome back to IGOW2. I'm Field Reporter Ashley, and I'm coming to you from America 2020, where, everything is fine. Weekly challenge number 8 is the GepRC Rubik's Cubik's inverted yaw. And unfortunately, I'm not supposed to head outside because of various reasons. So we're going to head straight back to the studio with Dan and Liz so they can explain this week's requirements.
Thanks, Field Reporter Ashley. Yikes, looks like it's getting a little hot over there. Anyway, this week's featured sponsor is GepRC, and they will be providing a Mark IV HD5 frame and a GepRC t-shirt for winner of Best Video for this week.
GepRC has also generously provided another t-shirt as well as a Mark IV HD7 frame as random giveaway prizes. Check out GepRC if you're interested in some good DJI HD bind and fly micros.
Yep, the P16 from GepRC is an IGOW approved sized Whoop, and it comes with a Caddx Vista on it, so you can use it with your DJI HD goggles. Okay, now let's go over the requirements for weekly challenge number 8, the GepRC Rubik's Cubik's inverted yaw. Requirement number 0 is that your video is a maximum of 90 seconds long. Jonathan, I'm looking at you. And you also must include your pilot name in the video title.
Requirement number 1 is that you must complete the following 3 tricks, all in one clip with no cuts, no ground taps, no bumps, and no mess-ups in between. The first trick is a Rubik's Cube.
A Rubik's Cube is when you perform a half flip to get inverted, and then you do a full roll, and then you complete the flip to complete the trick.
Trick number 2 is a Cubik's Rube.
A Cubik's Rube is like the opposite of a Rubik's Cube, where you start with a half roll to get yourself inverted, and then once you're inverted you do a full flip, and then you complete the roll to complete the trick.
And then the last trick is an inverted Yaw Spin.
An inverted Yaw Spin, you can do either a half flip or a half roll to get to inverted, and then you do a 360-degree Yaw Spin while inverted, and then you must either complete the same half flip or the same half roll that you started with to complete the trick.
Right. And these tricks can be done in any order.
Requirement number 2 is that you must complete each of the tricks with the same half roll or half flip that you started the trick with. So for all 3 tricks, you're either going to be doing a half flip or a half roll to get inverted. So let's say for the Rubik's Cube, you do a half front flip to get yourself inverted. Then after you do a full roll, you then need to complete the trick by doing another half front flip. You can't do a back flip or a half roll out of it. You must do another half front flip to complete that flip. Same thing goes for an inverted yaw or a Rubik's Cube. If you're going to use a, let's say, a right roll to get to inverted, then you do your inverted yaw, let's say, then you must come out of the inverted yaw with another half right roll.
So that means you make sure that whatever direction you started in, that is the direction you finish in. Requirement number 3 is that during your inverted yaw spin, your horizon line must maintain an east to west view during your entire spin. If at any point you go north to south, that will be a failure. There will be examples right here on the side of the screen.
Yep, so basically, the more level you can keep your horizon while you're doing the inverted yaw, the better.
And a few extra notes. First, you can do your tricks in any order that you please. You can also include them to be part of a freestyle line, so you can have tricks going before, after, or in between your required tricks. There's just no bumps, no taps, and no crashes allowed at any time.
Also, you're not allowed to have any failed attempts of the 3 required tricks, the Rubik's Cube, the Cubik's Rube, or the inverted yaw trick in your line. So if, let's say you pulled off the Rubik's Cube, then you did another cool trick, and then you did the Cubik's Rube, and then you went up for your inverted Yaw Spin, and you did a Yaw Spin where the horizon went vertical, so it was failing a requirement number 3. You could not then just attempt the inverted Yaw Spin again and pull it off properly, because that would break your line. So you'd have to start all over again with the set of 3 required tricks.
Alright, so these 3 tricks can be pretty difficult to pull off, so make sure that you give yourself ample time to practice them. As I've stated in previous weeks, I would advise that you start practicing in the sim before trying this in real life. All 3 of these tricks take a lot of muscle memory to be able to pull them off properly. I would also advise that when you're doing this trick, you start off very, very high so that you have lots of space to be able to pull this trick off without having any crashes involved.
I also suggest that if you want to take your tricks to the next level, you watch Stick Cam from Michael Anderson in this video here, and he'll show you how he does a Rubik's Cube where he kind of mixes the flip and roll towards the corners of the tricks to pull it off much more quickly. Good luck and happy whooping, everyone! These examples should help explain requirements number 2 and 3 better. The first example shows a very nice inverted yaw spin that passes requirement number 3, but it fails requirement number 2 because there's a half front flip to get inverted, a nice level inverted yaw spin, but then there's no second half front flip. Oh, that was Sam's first letter. Now, this is just a requirement for the IGOW competition. I'm not saying you always have to do it when you're doing an inverted yaw spin. Michael does an imperfect inverted yaw spin here, and he chooses to do a half front flip in and a half front flip out. Fine if you're not in the IGOW competition. Now, you can also do an inverted yaw spin with a half roll to get inverted, like Daniel does here. He does a half right roll, does a full 360 yaw spin, and then another half right roll out to complete the trick. Next, we have an example that fails requirement number 3 because the horizon is way too wobbly and wavy. As you can see here, I do a half backflip to get inverted. Then when I do the 360 inverted yaw spin, I'm all over the place and the horizon goes north and south, and it is a failure. This next one also has a wobbly horizon, but it's not enough to fail on that record. I do a half front flip in this time, and then my horizon is wobbly, but enough to pass. I get the 360, do the other half front flip, but then I crash out, so that would not count. This last clip I put in because it shows 2 things that are done very well. First, the very level horizon, and then second, also the nice 360. You can see when it goes inverted, you can see the trees straight in the middle of the view, and then a full 360 to show the trees again before coming out of the trick with the second half of the flip.